Hi ladies, it's Elisa here and I have a guest, Brian.
Hi ladies.
So I think you guys have really only seen him maybe once or twice in my egg retrieval video for the IVF. So yeah, so this is him. This is, well, him with a beard, because I think the last time you guys saw him he only had the goatee. But so we have some big information, lots of updates. I know I just posted an update just a couple days ago, but we had that big ultrasound, and it's just been accumulation of a bunch of information, and so Brian is going to be here with me. Plus, we're going to do the name reveal. We're not doing anything fancy for the name reveal. We're just going to tell you guys what it is. But we're going to do that at the end. So, where we kind of left off at, I know I told you guys about the first ultrasound that we had with the local specialist, but I did not tell you about the second ultrasound, because we learned some stuff there that was possibly changing for our situation. I know you guys all know, obviously, that our baby received a fatal diagnosis due to the swelling that was all over his body. And basically for about 3.5 weeks, that's all we could hear in our heads was, you know, your baby's going to pass. It's going to happen any day. Babies don't survive this.
Like it was imminent.
Yeah, they're basically saying it's going to happen any day. But then the last monitoring appointment that we had before this ultrasound on Tuesday, do you want to talk about what the doctor was basically telling us?
Dr. Downs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said that from what he could tell, the swelling had gone down, and he wasn't 100% sure because his ultrasound machine wasn't as good as the one at Oakland. But from what he thought the swelling had gone down.
So the doctor telling us that was insane. So basically every time the doctor said a positive thing in that ultrasound, I was like, well, I hope you're right. Because, I mean, I hate to say it, but when people tell you your baby's going to die within the next 3 weeks, it makes it really hard to hear and believe good information. So literally every time he said, well, see the swelling around here, it seems to be reduced, and see here, we can't find it. And I was like, well, I hope you're right. I hope that's correct. I hope that's true. Because really, me and Brian were waiting for the ultrasound in Oakland with a much nicer and more high-tech machine, with the same kind of doctor, but it is a much nicer machine, just a more high-tech facility. So, but the moment the doctor left the room, me and Brian both broke down, because how does that happen? How do you say, like, at that point it was like 3 weeks ago that my baby's gonna die, and then all of a sudden the swelling's reducing? I mean, you know, they basically said that was a possibility, but that it was really unlikely, that doesn't happen.
They said it was highly unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, you know, babies die from that. So, you know, we were cautiously optimistic. Well, I was. I think Brian was still a little bit more
terrified.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know,
after bad news after bad news.
Yeah, we haven't gotten good news since the baby was, you know, since about 12 weeks pregnant. And after our first NT scan, it seems like every doctor's appointment, it just got worse. I mean, the baby was still growing, but we weren't having very good experiences with those doctors. So we went into the ultrasound on Tuesday with a hopeful hearts, but still really trying to remain calm and grounded, and, you know, really not read too much into what the other doctor was saying about the baby swelling. But and then this is so crazy. Sometimes I don't think that techs and doctors, they think about what they say before it comes out of their mouth, because it's so automatic to them. But like, what did the tech said? The tech's name was Connie, and so she's like, hi, I did your scan last time. So she was one of the techs that had originally diagnosed us at 18 weeks with such a bad prognosis. She was the tech taking the original pictures. So she was like, so have you had any bleeding or cramping or spotting? And I was like, no. And she's all, well, do you have any other concerns? And I'm literally just off, it just spat out of my mouth. Well, other than my baby dying, no, I don't have any more. And my mom was there, but apparently afterwards that came off kind of snarky and bitchy. But I'm like, seriously? No.
What other concern would there possibly be?
What other concerns are there? Basically, you're telling me that we're waiting around for my baby to die. That's the biggest concern I have. Thanks. So I didn't mean to be bitchy. It just popped out of my mouth. It just, that's what my concern is. So the techs aren't allowed to tell you anything except for the baby's measuring where he should be at 21 weeks and 1 day or whatever.
Which he was.
So that's all that they're allowed to really tell you. And the baby boy is being really difficult. He's breached now. He's no longer transverse, so his little head is up in my ribs and his butt is down by my cervix, and he was kind of curled inwards and towards my spine with his head like facing towards my right. So he was being really difficult and closed up and not very helpful for the tech when she's trying to get good pictures of his heart and stuff. So what she told us initially was going to be a really short ultrasound turned out to be actually almost an hour long ultrasound, because we had to like lay on our sides and flip back and forth, and she was basically jiggling my belly baby fat, and you could see it up on the monitor. You could see the sides of the wall going in on the baby, but he was not having it. He was like, I'm comfortable right here. Thanks for that. But then, so the tech leaves. She says, good luck with everything, and the tech leaves, and then our doctor comes in because she's reviewing the images while the tech's taking them and sending them to her wherever she's in her office or whatever.
Well, and our
genetic counselor she came in while the tech was still trying to get images, and she's like, it's crazy, your other doctor saying, because they're all communicating, Kaiser works like that, they all put notes on my file, and everyone who's working on my case is reading those notes, and the last doctor had put the notes in that he's thinking that the swelling is greatly reduced and blah 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 blah. And so she's like, that's crazy, she's like, this just doesn't happen, and we can't explain it, and she's being a counselor and gobbledygook, and really we're like, we really don't need you here, we really need the doctor. So she was being very sweet, but we needed the doctor. So then the doctor comes in, and she's looking around herself because I'm still all covered in the goo. She's looking around for herself for a minute, and then what did she say? Like, what was her exact words? Like, at this point...
Well, she kind of apologized at first.
Yeah, she came in...
About having to give us such a grim diagnosis before, but she couldn't tell or couldn't see any swelling or anymore.
Yeah. So she basically apologized and, said, I'm sorry for being so doom and gloom when I last saw you, but when I last saw you, it was true. He had a condition that was really terrible, very dangerous, and babies die from that. But basically she said there's no further cause for concern really at this time, or not much further cause for concern. So
we're like, so what does that mean?
So what does that mean? And, she basically said, well, I'm not really concerned about his health at this point.
Well, she said the swelling has resolved itself. And they can't figure out why or how, or they have no clue.
Like, resolved itself, guys. Like, it's gone.
He could be fine.
The baby has basically grown out of, or it's self-adjusted his system so that the swelling that was causing so much, putting his life in danger around his chest and in his abdomen, is gone. It's just gone. Not even a little. They're not worried about it at all. And everything else is measuring perfectly. They're basically saying that children in utero with Down syndrome have shorter femur lengths because they are shorter people, and the baby's is measuring just where it should be at 21 weeks, which doesn't rule out Downs, but doesn't, that's a great check against Downs. And the only real thing that she could see that points towards Downs is that, one, we still don't know the cause of the swelling, even though it's gone. And two, the baby boy does not have a nasal bone. So if you're looking at ultrasound pictures of him, he still has a nose, but I guess some babies just are born without them. And it's common in Down syndrome children, but it's she said it also does occur in some normal children, some non-Down syndrome having children. So it does happen, but so that's kind of a check in the Down syndrome column and kind of not in the Down syndrome column. So, but really, either way, she said the no further cause for concern, and all three of us lost it. Well, we started crying. Like, seriously? Like, what are you telling us here? That we're going to bring home a baby? We're gonna have a baby. I mean, not just this mythical thing that we were gonna have and then lose. We are gonna have a baby. So, and the doctor, the look on her face was priceless. If I could charge people for that look. And she just like, she kind of put her hands in the air. She's like, we really can't explain it. And my mom, who is a Christian, is like, I can explain it. Because we had so many people, many of you guys who are watching, praying and just hoping. And even if you are not a big person of faith, I mean, just everyone was just sending so many kind thoughts and prayers and just everything our way, and we could never thank you guys enough for that. Your comments in our videos are just, I mean, they right here to my heart. And my mom's whole church and people, I don't, it's just crazy, because
a miracle happened.
It's a miracle. The doctors can't explain it. No one can explain it, that this crazy thing happened. So, baby is what she thinks is fine. They couldn't get, because the baby was being so ornery, this last ultrasound, and because, so they couldn't get good, clear, like front, clear pictures of his heart, and because of the last ultrasound that they had with this high-tech machine, there was so much swelling they couldn't see the proper chambers of the heart. The doctors vaguely concerned about it, but from the way she was talking to us, she's not even really concerned about it. From what she can see of the heart, it looks fine, but without getting that perfect, clear picture, she can't rule out that a heart defect was the cause of the swelling. So they're less concerned now with the cause of the swelling and just more happy that the swelling's gone. So they still do want us to do the echocardiogram at another facility or that facility. But even the doctor was like, oh, just schedule it whenever. She's like, it's really no hurry. Because they want to get pictures, but really it's just to confirm, what she already thinks is that the heart's fine. Sort of, right? That's kind of what we got.
They can see all four chambers and everything.
Yeah, it's pumping
properly.
From what she can see of it, it looks fine. But because baby was being so difficult, they can't rule it out. So, they don't know what caused it. They don't know why it's gone. It, in all respects, in their experience, it should have killed him. He should be gone. But instead, he went the opposite direction and he just worked it out himself. So, crazy. So, screw them and their fatal diagnosis. So yeah, it's just crazy. And telling everyone that knew that we were pregnant that we were going to lose the baby was probably some of the hardest phone calls and conversations that we've ever had to do. And I hope that we never have to make phone calls like that ever again. But in the exact opposite of that, making those phone calls, telling everyone that we had to tell that our baby was going to die, that our baby is a miracle and that he is pulled through, was probably some of the best few hours of my life, because he defied all the odds and what doctors thought, and he pulled through. And we are by no means out of the woods. the main message from that ultrasound was the doctor's not concerned. They're not concerned about his growth. He's doing just fine. And this is a miracle. But because there was the swelling, because we have the positive, 80% positive test for Downs, I'm still considered high risk. So instead of being seen every week like we were, basically just waiting for the baby to pass, I'm going to be seen every other week. So normal pregnancy, you other women are probably seeing your OB about once a month, and I will be seeing mine twice a month, but I won't be seeing an OB. They're going to keep me with a perinatologist, because I think what they plan on doing, at least at first, is an ultrasound every 2 weeks, to make sure, to monitor the swelling, make sure that it stays gone, make sure that his growth stays on point. And so they're going to be monitoring me really closely for the remainder of my pregnancy. But the biggest part of that statement is I'm going to have a remainder of a pregnancy. I've got 18 weeks now to look forward to, and not just
dread.
Terrifying. Or it's and we have no baby things, because we literally have not bought a single baby thing, because we got that bad news at 12 weeks that our child could have Downs and not even make it. And then we got devastating news at 18 weeks that he really probably wouldn't make it. And then at 21 weeks, they're sitting there handing us this huge gift and saying, hey, guess what? We were wrong all around. Sorry about that. Sorry. And we weren't even mad. Like, some people were mad, but not us. Like, me and Brian, we're not even angry at them, because it's not their fault, because what the doctor said was true. 3 or 4 weeks ago now, that was a reality. The baby could die from those symptoms. The baby was in danger of passing. So they told us what they knew that was from their experience. But
we didn't give up on him.
And that's the biggest thing too, is what if we had chosen to end the pregnancy? What if we made that decision and then he pulled or he could have all the time pulled through? It's just crazy, these what ifs.
You never know.
But I mean, we never contemplated that. You guys know that we weren't thinking about that, but it's just crazy. What about the people who do? What about the people who do choose to end their pregnancies and they still have this hope? And they've lost hope, but you don't know what your baby's capable of. And there really was always that stubborn part of me that was like, you're not going to tell me when my baby's going to die. He's going to tell me when he's going to pass. He will choose his time, and it is not for you to tell me when that's going to happen. And, bite me. And so apparently the baby agreed and has decided that he is not going to be doing that or going anywhere anytime soon. So
we're a stubborn breed.
They're stubborn men, these Hudson men. So at this point, we are just excited, elated. Telling our daughters was like the best thing ever. So they're over the moon, because how do you tell a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old that your little brother's going to die, and then a month later have to tell them, oh, just kidding. I mean, it was just, we've all been on this crazy roller coaster for what feels like forever. And I wouldn't trade another day. I wouldn't trade a day of this, because I'm going to have my son in the end. So, I wouldn't trade a day for it, but it's been a roller coaster, guys. So, crazy. This is just crazy, right? I don't even know how this happens. Crazy. That's really all you can say.
That's all there is.
He's a miracle. But anyway, and fun fact is I threw up that morning, so that could be good luck. You don't even know. I threw up my entire breakfast on the way to that ultrasound, so you don't know. And the name. So, we have known the baby's gender obviously since 14 weeks. Right after the genetic screening came back. Yeah, I think 14 or 15 weeks, right after the genetic screening came back. And then it's been verified in every ultrasound that we've had. They've taken very clear pictures that they were very happy to give us of his little legs and his little business. So he's very, very much a boy. So, The names has been, you guys know, I've told you, the great name debate in our house has been going on well before we were even trying to conceive. I would just be randomly throwing out, we'd be in the car, and I'd be like, hey, what about this name? Hey, what about that name? And Brian would just be like, hun, why don't we wait until we're actually pregnant to pick out a name? And so when we were pregnant, it's like, go time. I made lists. There would probably have been pie charts if I could talk him into it, graphs. So yeah, there was a lot of names the poor man had to deal with. So we had to make a short list of names, and then from the short list, we just, one name just kind of stuck. I was like, hey, what about this? And he was like, hey, I like that. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, hey, what about this and this together? And he was like, hey, I like that. And like, we didn't agree across the board on a lot of names. And boy names were especially difficult for some reason. But
Because you were trying to give him like mythological names.
see, guys, I told you. He wanted boring. He wanted to name the kid like Joe. And I wanted to name the kid like Hercules or something. It was just, we had to find the middle ground. So what we ended up choosing a name that I love because, one, it's not even, it's I was being really crazy about the top 100. So it's not really a popular name, and it has literary connotations, and I'm a huge reader, so I love that too. So without further ado, our baby boy's name is
Sawyer James Hudson.
Yes. So little baby Sawyer, so like Tom Sawyer. Yeah, so Sawyer is the baby's name. I've almost said it a million times in these videos. So we've been calling the baby his name. I told you guys we wanted to know the gender and so we could name him, so that, because we were fully grieving this child and we wanted to have him be a person. So we've been calling him that name. My mom wants to call him soybean. Brian's been calling him soy sauce, or soy boy. I thought we picked Sawyer because there was no way to really like nickname Sawyer, but apparently there are 500 ways to nickname Sawyer.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, so this is just the beginning of many a nickname, I'm sure. We'll probably end up calling the kid Booger or something, I don't even know. But he is going to be here in 18 plus weeks, and hopefully he stays in there for that long, and hopefully things continue to just be well, that he just continues to grow. Really at this point, every ultrasound every 2 weeks is going to be, a success, because, it's really hard to get over the moon excited about it, because I think I'm going to be really nervous about everything, every ultrasound, just like I was until I have him here breathing in my arms. Until I have given birth to him and he is in my arms and with us, I think we are going to be really cautious and nervous. To that point, we're even, I've really, I think, sold myself on the idea of not having a baby shower, because we don't have a lot of baby things. People have given us some stuff, but we don't have like baby furniture or anything. But the more we've gone through, the more I'm like, really, we just need diapers and some onesies, because the kid's gonna be born in the middle of summer. So I want him here and safe with me, and then I want to have maybe like a baby shower afterwards and celebrate and get things that we really have found that we need. Because we're not at that point. We've obviously only had this good, positive information for a day at this point. So we might change our minds. I might be, 32 weeks pregnant and be like, spoil me. I want a party. But I don't anticipate that happening. But it's just crazy to go one day from planning what you think is going to be your child's funeral to contemplating baby showers, and the fact that we don't have a crib, and I don't have any diapers stocked up. Everyone's starting to stock up diapers at 20 weeks, and stupid things.
That's what Walmart's for.
See, and Brian's like, dude, don't worry about it. on the way home from the hospital after we have him, you guys can stay in the car and I'll go into Walmart and get us some stuff. So really, I think we're just going to take a watchful, waitful, hopeful stance on the rest of our pregnancy. But Sawyer James is a fighter and he has defied all the odds and he's better. He's better. It's just, he's better. I don't even know how that happened. Doctors don't even know. So anyway, that's our update. This video is totally long enough. So I'm glad you guys got to see Brian, and I am more than glad that I can give you guys this great update. And at the end of this video, I will insert a belly shot of my 21-week picture. It's actually, I have a photo app, so it's going to be how big my tummy was at 4 weeks, because I know I never gave you guys belly shots. And it's going to be my 4-week shot compared to my 21-week shot. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys continue with me on this journey that we are going to continue, because my baby's a fighter. Our baby is a fighter. So yeah, we will be talking to you. Bye, ladies.
Bye.